to our unapologetic era.
Unhinged. We don't know what the fuck we're doing relationship advice, to be honest with you, some days.
Oh, I should not be giving relationship advice to anybody.
Some days I feel like a hypocrite. Hey, we're just trying to empower your relationships. That's what we're trying to do.
I like your eyeshadow.
Do you?
It's pretty.
Thanks.
It's bouncing off the purple on your shirt. Yeah, so that dude over there is just
Keep
messing with my head. It looks like he doesn't have pants on. Today we're talking about why are we loyal to the wrong ones? Basically, have you been a ride or die for somebody whenever they would never ride or die for you?
So friends or relationships, I guess you're talking about? Either one?
Yeah, it could go either way. I mean, obviously, we always tend to lean more towards relationships, but yeah, relationships can be platonic or romantic.
I'm not prepared today.
That's okay. I have notes. But so I did a poll. I say we because it's always we, but it was just me. But I did a poll and I asked what were the subjects that they would want us to talk about, and this is one that y'all chose, like the audience chose. So, um, I do relate to this, and I do have my own stories with this, but I don't feel an emotional attachment to it because this is my red flag. This is Leah's red flag.
Your personal red flag?
Leah always
So if somebody described you, they would describe this as your red flag?
that I'm loyal to a fault.
Uh,
Yeah. Because when I make a decision, and this is platonic or romantic, because I've definitely done it in work situations too. But when I make a decision that I'm committed to something, I tend to stay in it way past when it's good for me.
I've only done that for marriages.
I've done it for marriages too, but
I've never done it for any other relationship, dating other, like I've never done, like just marriages.
now I'm somewhat aware of it, but for a long time I thought it was making me a better person
How?
because I was being loyal. Whether they were good to me or not, I was
You're a
loyal.
fucking golden retriever.
But I know better now.
You're
But now that I know better, I don't know what to do with that. Because I still am that way. So I'm like, I don't know, do I just not commit? Because as long as I don't in my mind make that step ahead, I can keep the walls up. But
But
once I
you
make
can
that
have
move,
that step ahead and it doesn't involve walls.
that's what I'm saying. Like once I move ahead, I let all the walls down and I'm in. And unfortunately, I tend to be in till it's
Death do us part.
yeah. And this is to bring us back to like the actual question asking here. I don't think I've ever been with somebody who would do the same for me ever in a relationship.
I have
Oh, that sucks.
multiple times.
I have not been in a relationship with somebody who would give me that same.
To the point where I'm a couple of decades in and they still reach out.
I mean,
Just to be like,
just checking on you.
are you okay?
Yeah.
How's life?
I mean, I guess there's some people. I just think everybody's just trying to fuck. So I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what people's intentions are
Oh,
anymore.
but see, I don't think that way. If I'm reaching out to you, maybe I'm like, you want to fuck, but I don't receive it from the guy friends that I have that I still reach out to me like, hey, how are you doing?
I guess there's a few people that I could consider that way, but no.
And I
Um.
don't feel from them like I feel it's a genuine friendship.
Mhm.
Like I could go years without talking to them, but it's a genuine connection that they're reaching out for, and I know that in my head.
And then we're talking about the opposite sex friendship.
Mhm.
Okay, so this
Okay,
actually
you're asking me that, and you know I have out of 8 billion people in the world, have 3 friends that are girls.
no, I know, but I was clarifying before I said what I was about to say, which is, so what is your feeling on can men and women truly just be friends?
I want to say I in my head, if you ask me that in my head, I say no.
Mm-hmm.
But in my heart, knowing the people that I have in my life that are men, yes.
We're talking about straight men.
Yeah, they're straight. Married, not there's some married, some not
Is it
married.
because is it because though? Okay, all right. There's two parts to my question. Um, One, is it because they just have integrity, and so they
They have
are
values.
right.
Mhm.
They have morals and values and integrity, and they are either in a relationship or married, or they have a family, and so they're not going to jeopardize that. But if they didn't, would they be interested in you?
Mm.
And then the
Not on physicality level, but you say that out loud, I can honestly say, and this is full honesty, in my marriage, if I'm not receiving the validation and attention that I want, I will absolutely text one of them.
uh-oh, that's not
And
good.
it's not reaching out because I'm saying there's no physicality to it,
Yeah.
but it's just hearing someone say they care enough to be like, "How are you?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean that's in my current marriage. I will absolutely reach out to
I
them.
am sitting here having this response because I used to be like that, and then I'm either jaded or I actually see what's happening,
What's a
but
bigger word for
I
jaded? Because I think you're past that.
I just don't trust anyone. So I don't reach out to anyone anymore.
But you do honestly have valid reasons and concerns because I see the messages and I see things that happen that other people that are listening or don't know you don't
Yeah.
see. So, in some of those situations, it's absolutely 100% valid.
It's really disheartening people who were the connection like you're talking about in my
Mhm.
past that I thought were good human beings, like really good human beings that through the years I've had slide. And then it's like, man, what's left out in this world? Because I thought I knew their heart.
But that means they were jaded at some point in time by somebody else that became what twisted them into what you knew them as to what they are now. Because we all have heartache. We all get jaded. I mean,
Yeah, of course we
I'm not
do.
the
But if
same.
you're in a relationship, you're not reaching out. You're not reaching out to somebody from the past saying, I still think about you. And I'm talking
But
about
isn't
not in
it?
a platonic way. I'm
Oh,
talking about in a romantic way. And look, I'm not judging this person on purpose. Like I'm not going, "Oh, how dare they?" I don't feel that way about it. It's disheartening. It just makes me lose a little bit more faith in humanity.
my gosh, this isn't Christmas time. It's not magical time. Like it's life.
Yeah, I know. And I so am I don't think I
What's the topic? I
so
don't even
between
fucking
wait,
remember.
no, I'm gonna bring it back together. So
Okay.
between what I'm saying now and the fact that my red flag is being loyal to a fault, I'm now in this like I'm afraid to make any commitments to anyone, not because I'm afraid of commitment, but because I've been proven that I will give you my best and it's not going to be given back to me and you're probably sliding in some girl's DMs from your past telling her that you
And
still
that's
think
not
about
the
her.
person that you should be letting in the first place.
I don't think that person exists. That's my point. My point is I don't think the person exists anymore.
Yeah, it
And I think it's
does.
because of I do think it's because of our society and our culture and maybe if I lived in, Vietnam, I wouldn't have the same problem. It's an American thing, but
You'd be given
uh
happy endings under a table if you lived in Vietnam.
I'd be getting paid.
You would have a job, even if it's a blow job. But you know,
Yeah, I don't know if it's a taxable job, but maybe there it is.
1099, you bitch. No.
I'm freelancer. But yeah, so I have always been more loyal than I should be to someone who I've made a decision to be loyal to. And I don't want my head bitten off because I'm putting it that way. Because if you are not in an exclusive relationship, then it's not exclusive.
You're single.
Right.
You're single. If we haven't had a discussion, I'm single. I don't care if we've been on 5 dates or 100 dates. If we haven't had the talk, I'm single.
I love the talk, by the way. Like, bring the talk on.
Sometimes it's so cute.
I don't hate the talk at all. Like, I don't care if we've only been on 2 dates. If you're interested in me to the point that you actually want to be in a committed relationship with me and you know it, bring it on. Bring it on. The worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna say no, but I'm probably not. Because if I've already gone out with you twice and I'm still talking to you, I'm probably interested also.
It's that such a good feeling. You ever have that, like, when you're in high school or I mean, I hated high school, but when you're in high school and the boy likes you and you're, like, having that conversation, it just gives you this, like, pheromone hormone release of being like,
I don't remember
isn't the
any
best feeling
I
ever,
forgot
though?
it. It's gone.
When someone has that conversation of, like, "I only want you." Ugh.
How did I get this old?
But I'm just even now it still happens. I mean, when my husband and I had that discussion of he's finally like, "I only want you," and it's like it just releases this like, "Oh, somebody wants me."
I absolutely agree with you, and I have to say that moving forward with my life, that is what I'm looking for, is somebody who, on a daily basis, can say, "You drive me crazy, but I don't want anybody but you." That is what I'm looking for, and that's the type of love that I want. It I wanna receive and I wanna give. Um, people are just so bleh, and if one more
They're tired. Everybody's tired. I'm
with that
fucking tired.
hey, you tired? That means you should be, like, fine with committing to one person to give you BJs for the rest of your life,
So you don't
instead of you needing to dance around to 14 different ones,
I
and you're
think
gonna
we're all
complain about
tired.
12 of them. 12 of them you don't even like. 12 of them are raking you. Yeah.
But it's we're all tired. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired, like,
It's
tired in a
so fu
marriage, tired, like,
it's so
it's
funny you say
being
that 'cause I get
single,
it.
like, just fucking tired. Like, I don't look, I will never turn my husband down in any sexual content whatsoever. I don't care what I could be dead.
I
I
was like
don't
that with my
care.
second husband.
I don't care. Like, it's never you're not gonna be turned down if you're with me. But I get turned down a lot, fuck.
Yeah. It's really funny how that happens. It happened to me too.
Well, do you think okay, side note off our topic, but when we date younger men and women in our 30s and 40s who are at our sexual peak, because boys hit it at 18, women hit it in their mid 30s, and these 30-year-old boys can't keep up. Side note. Anyway, we're
No,
off
not a
topic.
side note, I get it. I get it. Who was I talking to today? And I said, I can't. Oh, I was talking to a friend, a girlfriend. I said, I can't figure out if I am crazy, old, or delusional, or if, because I'm like, there's so many young guys that hit on me. And I'm like, but that actually fits better for my lifestyle.
As long as they don't want kids.
Well, in the moment, because they
Yeah.
could want kids down the road, but if they're not raising little kids, like that works out so well for me. Um, but then yeah, I do end up kind of mommying them
That's not
in
what you
ways.
want.
No, it's not what I want. It's not what I want. And look, I already made the mistake. Like I was like, oh, I'm not going to take it too serious, and then fell head over heels in love with one that could not do a life with him. So these are all reasons why I'm sitting here going, what the fuck? Just what the fuck? I would like to have one dick though.
Forever?
And I wanna do Sunday I wanna do Sundays again. I miss this. I want pizza and bed and Netflix and just dick all day long.
I mean, you
It's been
could.
really rainy lately. No dick.
You gotta have, we talk about this, the trifecta. They gotta be good with their tongue, their hands, and their dick.
Are we gonna are we are we gonna make me talk about
No, we're not. We're not gonna make it up. But
Germany again?
no. Dang wiener schnitzels. They get you every time.
um,
No. But I don't even I still keep forgetting my
we're,
brain is
we're
so
off. We're off, but we're on it. Like we're fine. My red flag is that I'm loyal to a fault. You are not like that, apparently. But
no.
why? But why? Okay, why am I that way? From your perspective on the outside looking in, why do you think that I get myself caught in those situations? I think I know, but I don't know if I know.
I mean, there's two different avenues you could take this. One, your parents are still together.
Mm,
And loyalty with them runs deep.
yes, that is and that is my example.
And I think that's your number one. And not that you're seeking that necessarily, but that's what you grew up visualizing is the loyalty, and they had the old fashioned love.
Yeah, and it's definitely a ride or die because I I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but it didn't look easy growing up. It's not like everything looked wonderful for them.
Everything's hard. It's
So they
always
yeah, so
hard.
they put up with each other is my point. Like, and they stuck it out.
I don't want to. I hate that word.
Well, I
I
said
don't
like
want
I
to be
said,
in a
I don't know.
marriage that I'm put up with
Well, like I said, that's why I don't know what happened behind
out of
closed doors.
convenience.
They might have been, doing all kinds of fun stuff, but what's the difference though between like real loyalty and then like what does loyalty mean? Like what's the definition of loyalty?
Emotionally or physically. I mean, there's two. I mean, you could look at it two different ways.
You can separate it? I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You can separate physical loyalty?
I mean, are you loyal? Because you could be loyal to someone emotionally and you're pouring yourself into them, but
Right.
you could have multiple partners physically. Then those other people you aren't pouring yourself emotionally into.
Situationships.
So then but I guarantee you, someone that is pouring themselves physically into they're not emotionally locked down with one person, I don't feel like. But I think there's a
Situationships
separating.
are all about being loyal emotionally whenever you shouldn't be.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, because
I don't
well, a
know.
situationship is something that's it's more like you're hooking up. You're not in an exclusive, but there's definitely like emotions involved. Usually, it's more on the female than the male. Usually, typically,
Like,
and
if he went and sought somebody else, you'd be upset.
yeah, exactly. And also that woman, we're just going to go ahead and put it out there, the woman. That woman usually is not seeing anyone else. Like she's being loyal to what
Mm,
potentially could happen in that situationship, and the other person in the situation is getting raked by 12 other people.
God, he's breadcrumbing her.
Yes, absolutely.
So you need to stop girls, women. I mean, most of our people are 18 plus, but
I just told
recognize the fucking breadcrumbing.
I just told my guy friend the other day that he's been like back and forth with this girl and she's not a good fit for him at all. Like I think he's just feeling a little lonely. I'm not really sure, but
Ugh,
um
aren't we all?
yeah, but I was like, "Dude, you're leading her on." And he's like, "Absolutely not
Oh, yes,
leading
he
her
is.
on.
I don't
Like
even know
I
the
have been
story, and I can
so."
tell
And I
you
was like, "Do you still answer her text messages when she texts you?"
how quickly, too.
Right. And like and I know him well enough to know like he's one of those guys that likes to give like an intellectual response. Like he's not just like a, yeah, I went kayaking Sunday morning.
It's
Like
a full sentence.
yeah, he's a full sentence person. So for us girls who don't get to interact with men like that very often, it's like, "Oh, he really cares about me because he's
Oh,
taking the time to express
he's
himself."
not what you doing.
Right. But he is also sending me text messages like that and we have nothing romantic going on. So you got to recognize that dude is just that way. Just recognize.
I'm really starting to not like people at all.
See, I know.
I don't care if you're man or female. Like, I'm just not. Ugh. I'm just
I
not.
know.
Like, even that pisses me. I'm gonna tell you what pisses me off lately. So, no, I'm not single parent, but if you were a single mother,
Mhm.
you set up a date,
Mhm.
he plans it, everything's
Mhm.
going well, and then he reschedules. Does this man not realize what you had to do to get ready? You got to find a babysitter. You got to pay a babysitter. You're just gonna take you an hour and a half to get fucking ready because you have kids bombarding you the whole entire time till the
So
babysitter's there.
basically, you take your whole afternoon off to get ready.
So you're taking your whole afternoon. You're looking at 6 hour time frame just to go on one fucking date that may last 2 hours.
Right. Right. No, he doesn't. And this would go back to the bare minimum thing. That's asking for the bare minimum and not even getting it. There's so many women, I've never done this before, and I'm not condoning it, but it does happen all the time. There are so many women that when they get asked on a date, they ask to be picked up by an Uber that's paid for by the date, and they ask the date to pay for the babysitter.
Mm.
Unless the date's willing to wait until they don't have their children.
Yeah.
But I would never have the
How do
balls to
you
do
even
that.
ask that?
There's so many things that women get away with that I'm like, "Damn, I'm an idiot. I'm just an idiot."
I never know how to pay. I always had free childcare, but damn.
Yeah, but there's a lot of women. I mean, and look, they were loud and proud about it. They're like, "I'm not going on a date with you unless this, and this is happening." Yeah, I've never been that big of an asshole, and I'm sitting here single, so I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe I should be an asshole.
So, are the men perceiving them as such high value that they are setting a boundary from the start of what their expectations are? And you and I are just like,
That's a good
hey,
question.
fuck, you got a dick, let's go.
That's a really good question because I see that as an asshole move. I really do.
From a woman?
From a woman, I see it as you are seeing you're using that man. You're not seeing him as a human. You're seeing him as a date and somebody to pay for you to go on the date.
Transactional.
Right. And you're not actually being vulnerable to get to know him. In my opinion, that's how I see that. If you go into it like you have to pay for my Uber, you have to pay for my babysitter, you're a jerk, in my opinion. So if a guy sees that as high value,
Mm.
that's a guy that's going to be pissed off for the next 30 years because she's going to control everything. I think because of the feminine, like masculine role shit being mixed up, I think men are happy acting like little bitches and being pushed around by women.
I'm so fucking over it. I
I
know I
really
said that like
do.
past like 5 episodes. I'm so fucking over it. Like, I'm not I'm not expecting into a feminine energy to be like, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom and I'm gonna do this, but I'm like my marriage balance of the I don't even fucking know. I'll get in trouble for if
The
I
only
say
thing I'm
anything else
the
about
only thing
this.
I'm looking for in a relationship that balances the feminine and masculine. There's a lot I'm looking for, but specifically for me is I want a safe place to lay my head and rest. Remember how you said we're really tired? I'm
Mhm.
really tired. I want a safe place that I can go, shit, I'm tired. I want to just put my head on your chest and know that I'm safe and know that you're still going to be there. You're not going anywhere and you're happy that my head's there.
Yeah,
Why is that so hard to find?
because your pool is dwindling very quickly. Your pool is now like this.
Pool is really dirty.
You're in a lake that you
I
can't
just told someone
see,
last night I am perch jerking in a shallow puddle.
that you can't even see your hand underwater.
I ain't even fishing for good fish.
I hope it's a good stocked lake at least. I
I
don't
need to
fucking
go deep sea
know.
fishing.
Get you a tuna. Marlin.
I need a big old
A
marlin.
marlin.
But think about how much work it takes to reel in a marlin.
Oh my god, you're there for hours.
Yeah. But then once you got them, you mount that bitch. Did you know that whenever fish are mounted, that it's not the actual fish?
I've heard that, but I don't know any facts.
I learned this and I was not happy about it. Why do I want a fake picture, 3D picture of my fish?
Because you won't eat it.
I was disappointed. Super disappointed. I mean, I could buy
You're
anybody's fish at that point.
ooh, true. And be like, I caught that bitch.
Yeah, like what?
You or just hit the nail on the fucking head for yourself and you didn't even realize it.
Which part?
That the amount of effort that's gonna take in to reel in a marlin.
Ugh. Okay.
If
All
this
right.
if
Okay.
you
All
just
right.
no
All
no
right.
no no. You just laid out what you wanted. And if you want that, you gotta be able to reel it in and it's gonna take you a long time. It doesn't just lay in your lap anymore like
Well,
those
I need
20
to
year
show
olds.
up to the right
It's
place
not
to
gonna
fish
jump in your
first.
it's not gonna jump in your boat. And
Sometimes they do.
not the Marlins. They're not gonna fucking jump in your boat. Stop justifying that
They'll
shit.
stab you when they come in.
That's a no. No, no, no.
Maybe I need a dolphin.
No, no.
That would be a feminine dude.
What else you got on there that we're talking?
No, we're off course, but I like it. But wait, let's go back to this whole I need a marlin because what do I need to do different?
You're catching perch in a fucking lake right now.
That would be that whole like just dick stuff.
You're catching perch in murky, nasty water. You need to go out to the ocean, the crystal blue, and take your 6 hours
You know how
to
they
reel in one fish.
you know how they say like you have to position yourself.
When you're fishing?
No, for dating. Like if you let's say a girl says I want a man who has a yacht. Well, you got to go hang around people who have yachts to be able to get a man that has a yacht. You can't be on Bumble. Um, maybe I need to spend more time at the yacht club
Also, I mean, it's a lot easier to deal with a house asshole when you're in a yacht than when you're in a Honda Civic.
or they're in your Honda Civic.
Well, that's
They ain't even got their own Honda Civic.
yeah. So it's a lot easier to deal with the asshole when there's
I tell you
other
what, that's absolutely the truth.
perks to the situation and scenario.
There could be a threesome involved in that. As
I
long as I'm
don't.
wearing Louboutins.
Red heels up.
Anytime I feel unloved, I'll just look down at my feet.
I
Diamonds and Louboutins. It's been a long time since I've had any money.
I've never had any, so it's fine.
No, but hey, look, as my friend, this is completely off subject, but you need to know this.
Uh-oh.
If I die, two things.
You got some Louis Vuittons in your closet
Well,
somewhere?
if I go missing, two
You wear
things.
3 sizes smaller feet than me, but anyway, go ahead.
Make sure that my picture that's used on the news is not the one my parents or the news people choose.
Why are you on the news? You can't
'Cause
just
I'm
be
missing. I'm saying
just an
if I go missing,
obituary? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
if I die too, the obituary picture.
Okay.
And then I will be buried or cremated in the nude matte 110s Louboutins
Why?
because I said it and it will happen. I am gonna dolly myself right into heaven in those Louboutins, and I'm gonna look amazing. Because if I'm not able to own them in real life, which I'm sure there have been times where I could have bought them, it just wasn't smart. But if I'm not well stable enough to where I can't own them, I will at least go to heaven in them,
You gonna rent them?
or I'll walk on fire in hell in them.
I will say that you say that. I have a friend that is gonna be picking out my picture.
Yeah.
I have a friend that's gonna be standing up at the funeral and say she didn't like any of you bitches anyway. Get the
Do
fuck
not
out.
let my mother dress me if they're gonna do an open casket.
I don't think she's gonna be alive by then.
I would- That's very nice of you to say.
You think she's gonna live another 30 or 40 years?
I'm saying I could die tomorrow.
She'll be like 100.
Tomorrow.
No, I meant in 30 or 40 years.
Tomorrow.
If you die tomorrow, we got you.
Yeah. No, whenever I was going out of the country last week, I spray tanned a friend before I left, and I was like, I didn't prepare anybody, and so I told her I was like, if something happens to me while I'm out of the country, I was like, I'm gonna need you to step in and make sure these things are taken care of. And she was like, Leah, that's not very nice. That's very morbid of you. And I said, I don't care what you think. This job has been laid on you.
This is your
Needless
calling.
to say, she made sure I made it to Germany. That's all I'm gonna
Well,
say.
she had probably should have made sure you made it home, not
She
there.
wasn't as worried about me getting home, but she did make sure I made it to Germany.
Well, that's not a friend. In a week time, she forgot about you existed.
She's gonna see this and she's gonna say she texted me, so I might not remember, but she might have texted me to make sure I made it home.
Uh,
But we
I don't know. Did we learn anything in this process besides when we die?
well, you
I
told me
just
that
want
I
to look
need to work
pretty.
harder for Marlin.
And you said it out loud. You said you're in the lake with the perch.
Yes, I just don't know. I really don't know how to get. I don't think I think that they're endangered species. But if I'm not fishing in the right area, then
You know you can do it. I mean, you've seen me fish in the right area,
okay,
and
I
I
know
lived
what the
on a.
problem is. I don't have a damn boat good enough to get out there to the Marlin. How am I going to get it? Like, where am I going to get the boat from? That's actually filler and Botox is the boat. Maybe some lipo.
You just gotta be in the right place at the right time. I mean, shit.
No, we ain't playing that game.
I was in the right
I
place at
am
the right
not
time, and
Cinderella.
I lived on a fucking tour bus for 6 months at a time. I mean,
I am not Cinderella. And she still figured out a way from her fairy godmother to get her in the right place. That man did not show up on her dirty, poor corner and fall in love with her. Although I think the movie might have it.
you got to find a balance of thinking. We'll put it in man's terms, thinking with your dick and thinking with the rocking chair at the end of the goal. There's a middle ground you got to think with.
I don't think with my dick as much as I used to.
Oh no, that's perimenopause.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep saying that nobody warned us about this whole perimenopause thing, but I'm thinking it might be worse for us than it was for even the generation before because of hormonal imbalances and antibiotics and foods and I know I'm not going way off, but I have thought about that.
I don't know. I say anything shit like that, and I've been caused saying that I'm being said that I'm saying I'm the victim all the time. Even little
Okay,
shit like
well,
that.
sometimes I am a damn victim of
Right?
perimenopause.
And I get called a hypocrite.
I probably asked for closure from that dude because of perimenopause. It was probably a psychotic moment thought. A psychotic
Well, you
thought.
got your closure. Brought you to a whole emotional level.
I have too many.
Did we answer their question?
No.
What was the?
Why are we loyal to the wrong ones? I know it's a red flag. I know it's a weakness of mine, but I don't know if I fixed it. All I've done is I'm aware of it, and I just am afraid now to make a commitment to somebody. But I
I'm-
haven't figured it out.
I mean, like I said, the only people I've been loyal to is within a marriage, and I've definitely stayed longer than I should have. But then we're going down a whole nother rabbit hole of
Well,
my idiocy of why I stayed. But I've never stayed in a friendship or a significant other relationship outside of marriage longer than I should have.
this is my opinion on it. My opinion, because I don't know if this is like for everyone, but my opinion on it is outside of my own personal like red flag weakness thing. We're looking for validation. So you stay in hopes that they will catch up, like they will meet you where you're at. And that is looking for validation. That is looking for reassurance, and it's not gonna happen. They've shown you their hand. They
Yeah,
showed you their hand a long
they're
time
not gonna
ago.
catch up with you.
You're the one that's choosing to look past that and see this whole it's a potential thing. Like when people say, "I'm dating them for their potential," which we all know better than to say that now, but it still happens. People still do it, especially whenever they start dating young and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna be a doctor." Why? No, don't be that man's first wife. Walk away and find yourself a
Don't
nice
be the one that
farmer.
pays for the medical school and then gets no reap of benefits after it. But I mean, I think also it's a fear of not being accepted by somebody else.
Absolutely, that was my biggest
Like if
fear,
you
yeah.
walk out of one where you're mediocre and whatever the relationship is you're staying too long because of a fear of moving to the next person. What if I don't find that person? What if they're not like this person's okay? I'll give them a
Mhm.
7 out of 10. But what if I don't what if I only find 4s and 5s after this? Like what am I, I think it's a fear of the
And I think as
unknown.
women, I can't speak for men, but I think as women, we justify a lot of things, and it's like, well, you know, he's not really great at this. Basically, he's not great at being a good partner, but he does provide, or I mean, he's got great medical insurance. I mean, there are things that we justify, or it's our kids are young, and I. But look, I'm telling you right now, I lost 10 years of my life because I paused.
Yeah.
Pause. I literally lost 10 years of my life. And so I joke all the time and I'm like, how did I get this old? How did I get here? But truthfully, I wasted so many good years because I was hoping that things would just get better.
And they don't.
No,
They don't
no,
get
I needed
better.
to be fishing for marlin and I needed to be putting the work in and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. And instead of trying to figure it out, I wasted a lot of time.
You stay with a fucking dolphin and look what you got.
Yeah.
But I think that's the end result is you live in fear of what the unknown if you leave. You have a validation that's in front of you currently right now that's comforting but not exactly what you're wanting. And those two things right there, especially the validation, should tell you everything you need to know why you need to leave.
You know what's interesting about this too?
Mm.
Is that statistically in America, I mean, we know the divorce rate is over 50%, but 85% women leaving men versus men leaving women.
Mhm.
So we're sitting here and we're saying that, and we're usually talking from a female perspective because you and I are females, that why do we stay too long with the wrong ones, but yet we're the ones that are quicker to pack up and leave in a marriage.
I don't think it's quicker. I think it's you spent whether it be a decade or a year, you spent that time asking for something from someone and they never would give it to you and you finally had enough.
That's exactly what's happened to me.
They're like, you keep if as a woman keep putting into this relationship and you're literally verbatim telling them word for word what you're needing and they're not turning it around because they don't think you're going to leave.
Right, and well, and you'll say, "This is what I need for me to not want to leave," and they just go, "Not my problem."
Yeah.
Then what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to leave. So I actually just saw that statistic recently, and it was a man complaining about like women saying women are more the problem. But I definitely believe that men are initiators and women are reciprocators, and so if I'm having to initiate fixing a problem in the relationship and you won't even attempt to understand it, much less solve it,
Right.
there's no relationship there.
And I think they start thinking too is I'm a single parent in a marriage. And when you become a single parent in a marriage, then you absolutely can be a single parent on your own.
Hmm.
And that's another reason women leave.
Or you just stay for financial reasons.
Yeah.
And look, I tell
That's
you,
when you just put blinders on and like you go do what the fuck you want. I'm doing what the fuck I want. And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's
So,
one of those, it's cheaper to keep her than it is to,
well, or for on our end, it's going to be too hard to do by myself.
hmm
Like I just can't. I can't give my kids what they deserve on my own.
yeah.
And that's a reality that I faced leaving my last marriage, and I made a decision that it was more worth it to me to walk away and get the divorce versus um the stability of income. Also could see that world crashing too, but yeah. So I don't think it's fair that we're getting this bad I think that, we just eventually say, I'm going to take care of me instead of take care of you.
But
And sometimes it is taking care of the children.
but you're already taking care of yourself anyway without him, and he's not taking care of you. So I mean, that's why women. I mean, there's so many fucking reasons, but it's when men turn a blind eye and turn basically their back on you when you're basically pouring out what you need, and that's why
Mm-hmm.
women leave
Mm-hmm.
when they realize it's easier to do this on their own than it is to do with you,
Yeah.
and they want peace too.
Do you think that men cheat more than women in a either long-term relationship or marriage? Nothing less than like 3 years.
I think it's 60-40. I think men like probably I would say are a little bit higher
Mm-hmm.
because than women are. Because we have I feel like a more emotional attachment to that and that physicality of it, whereas men can one and done and
Yeah, they can stay emotional, like, unemotionally. Yeah.
disconnected.
I have to say I've never cheated on someone in a marriage or a long-term relationship, but there have been times in those relationships where someone um I was having to rethink about something else, but where there were situations where I went, if I continue to have this friendship or like it could,
Oh yeah, you gotta cut
because
people off.
I could
Yeah,
feel the connection.
yeah.
Like,
It could lead.
and that doesn't mean the male has any idea that that's even happening.
Yeah.
But I've had to remove myself from friendships or situations where it was like, this could get me in trouble.
Mhm. I can't say I've never cheated, but I've never cheated first.
What
If
do you
that makes sense.
mean?
Like he's always cheated,
Uh huh.
and then when I find out, I'm like, "Oh, we're playing single game here."
Oh.
Then I'm like, "You didn't." And
See,
I mean, but it's over by then. I mean,
well, the reason why I had to stop and think was because there was that kiss on the bachelorette party, and that technically is cheating, but I meant like cheating.
yeah. No, I've done it.
Anyway,
So
I don't know why we stay with people we shouldn't. I don't have an answer for y'all. I'm still trying to figure it out. I am that person, so I don't know.
we answered it, and hope and validation and not wanting to step out into the unknown and take that big of a risk. It's scary.
Yeah,
That's basic. But every situation is different. You don't ever
that is
know.
true. That is very true.
Every situation is different, so we can't first speak for everybody.
No.
Just us.
I would say though it's something that you just probably need to look inward on.
Yeah.
Recognize and then look inward. And um that I would like to end with this. I saw something recently that was really interesting to me, and it said that there's a lot of women out there. Again, I'm just talking about women, but I'm sure it goes both ways. But there's a lot of women out there that talk about how they're going through this healing journey and that they're learning all these things about themselves, and they're whatever, and they're not actually growing as a person. It's all talk. It's all talk, and that's something that I want. Like I want us to be different than that, and that's like I might say some dumb things up here, and I might talk about some things that embarrass my parents, but it all is being told because these stories I lived through them, and then I learned something from them, and sometimes I had to live through it 2 or 3 times before I got it. But I am growing. I am maturing, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, and I'm not dancing around, hey, I'm doing this type of therapy or meditating this or gratitude books and blah. I'm not going to play that bullshit because it's bullshit. Those to me are emotional fillers. Like you're avoiding actually doing the work.
Yeah. I'm just a bitch. So that's my healing. I just became more of a bitch. I don't.
I mean, I'm pretty much a bitch too. I will say, like, the number one thing that therapists are always going to tell you whenever you're going through something like you and I've gone through, which is healing from PTSD from a relationship and stuff, is they're like journal. I can't journal.
I don't want to journal. I don't want to write. I can't even
I
type. I
can't
can't do
journal.
anything.
There's the like you talking about you becoming an asshole. I become so like emotionally flustered that my hand like cramps up. I cannot journal. I have tried doing like a voice to like a talk to text journaling, but this is a real like it's a real freaking weird thing for me. So don't tell me to journal. Motherfucking goodness gracious.
All right, guys.
All right, we're calling it.
Thank you for our unhinged visitation today. We love you guys.
Talk to you later.
Bye.